Next we have Pastor Ron Moore from Soul Church.
Good morning. Come on now. Good morning. I am honored and proud to be able to stand here and share my story and be a part of such a diverse and distinguished group of individuals. Thank you, Jonathan, for giving me this opportunity. So I am a country boy, born and raised in Spencer, Oklahoma. And my story is in the 70s and early 80s, growing up in Oklahoma, being a country boy and dark-skinned black man. The first place I experienced discrimination was from someone who was black, because I was darker than they were. They called me little black boy, little spot. And because of that, I had a lot of anger built up in who I became as a man. I grew up angry. So Lord, why did you have to make me so black and ugly, and useless? The son of a preacher who raised hogs and cows, I often found myself odoriferous, or go around with people and you have an odor. And so you compile being young and black and ugly with stinking. It's not a good combination. And so here I am as a young man trying to find my way, trying to find out who I am and what God has for me to do. Most of the time angry because my peers and the people who I knew, or I would call friends, often belittled and talked about me. So I was angry and upset that I had to be who I was, a person of no value, no real direction in life, just whatever. And so you compound that. You grew up in high school, and instead of focusing on anger, I focused all my energy into becoming an athlete. I ran track, wrestled, played baseball, played anything that had to do with sports as a way to relieve the anger I felt. That's what I did. And so, I love wrestling because I could hurt somebody, and there's nothing you could do about it, because I got all this rage built up, and now it's just me and you. You can't run. And it didn't matter if you were black or white, my job was to hurt you. And I'll never forget one of the times that I experienced racism from somebody outside my own race. I was wrestling a guy from Perry, Oklahoma, won't call his name because you might know him. And he said, I'm gonna whoop you so-and-so and so-and-so. And I said, you just made a mistake. Wrestling match was over. I slammed him on the mat and split him open, was disqualified, couldn't wrestle for 3 weeks, another story. But because of the anger and the rage. And so you go through that, you deal with it, and you don't have anybody to talk to. You don't know anybody who can relate to what you're going through. And so you become somewhat of an introvert, and you not really speak out. You don't really go outside of the friends that you have, the two friends that are your real friends that you have. And you grow up and you get kind of lonely, and the anger grows. But the more the anger grew, the better I began to be an athlete. I wish I would have directed some of that anger as being a better student, but I didn't. But I became a good athlete, and so, got an opportunity to leave Oklahoma and go to Southeast Kansas to play football. Pittsburgh State University was where I went to school, and never had really been anywhere other than Spencer, predominantly black community. Graduated with 360-something students and only 4 were white. So my surroundings, my environment was predominantly a black environment. So I go to Southeast Kansas, where I am one of 392 African-American or black students. And I'll never forget, it was okay as long as it was football. We go in tour days, don't have it anymore, these guys are pansies, but we don't, tour days, and Dennis Frantoni was our coach, and we actually had 3 days, a morning practice, an afternoon practice, and an evening practice. And I'll never, one evening after the afternoon practice, my roommate and I went to Walmart, and we were buying some deodorant, like toothpaste. I can't remember what it was, but we were walking down the aisle. Both of us were black, and then there was a white man and his daughter, couldn't have been any more than 3 years old. And he was pushing her, she was riding the basket, and she looked at us and said, "Look, Daddy, there's two big old," and you know what she said. And all of the bitterness and rage I thought I had left in Spencer showed up in Southeast Kansas. And at that moment, none of you sitting here would have thought that I was the son of a preacher, the way my mouth began to go off, because I was angry. I never expected to have to deal with racism or being looked down upon in a place where I'm going because of my athletic ability. That makes sense. And so now I'm bitter, I'm angry all over again after I thought I left it at home. But that was the first time I ever really experienced racism outside of my own race. So now I'm really frustrated and puzzled because I'm talked about by my own people. And now I'm looked at and talked down upon by other races. What am I going to do? Is there any hope? And so now the anger is growing, and no doubt I go on and have a fabulous career as an athlete in Southeast Kansas, and then mess around and get drafted in the 4th round by the Arizona Cardinals. And this country boy now is in a big city. And I move out to Arizona. And fortunately, my father and mother had instilled enough in me about who Jesus was that by this time I had a real walk with the Lord. I had a real walk with Christ. I knew who I was, and you couldn't change that. And so now I'm at the mall, and two of my closest friends to this day, we're sitting at the mall, and we're Christmas shopping for my fiance and my mom and my dad, and we're excited because for the first, I got more than $343 of scholarship check in my pocket. I can buy some stuff. And so we're shopping, and I see a same-sex couple walk out the bathroom and kiss. And I say, "Oh my God, I've never seen that in this TV. Oh my God, did you see that?" And the person who was showing me around the face said, "No, no, no, you can't do that. You can't talk about people like that. You have to be tolerant." So now I have experienced racism from my own race, from the outside race, and now I'm experiencing what it feels like to be a Christian and be frowned upon. Because of my belief, that was odd and strange, and it didn't fit. And so here I am, again, angry. But thank God that He had a vision and a call on my life. Because I was an athlete, I was able to go to places where most African-American men and black men wouldn't be able to go. I would go to a church in Modesto, California. It was an all-white congregation. I go to a church in South Central LA, and it was an all-black congregation. We go out to Mexico, and it was all Mexicans. And I thought to myself, this is not what it's about. Because when I would come out of the tunnel on Sundays at 12 noon in Phoenix, Arizona, and it's 70,000 people screaming, they would be black, white, Mexican, Latino, from all different creeds, races, and colors, and screaming and hollering for a football game. But when I would go to church on Sunday mornings, it was the most segregated hour of the day. And so I experienced it all growing up, and now I got to experience it in church, and somewhere deep down inside of me, the Spirit of God said, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Because the Bible teaches, and I got a scripture and I'll be done. The Bible teaches in Galatians, and I'll read from J.B. Phillips, it says, "For now that you have faith in Christ, you are all sons of God. All of you who are baptized into Christ have put on the family likeness in Christ. Gone is the distinction between Jew, Greek, slave, and free, male and female. You are one in Christ." And so at a Bible study in the Jossell's house 4 years ago, well, God had put this in my heart years ago, but when it was expressed, we became the church that we are now. And my mission in life is to let people know that if you look to Christ, look to the cross, that's where we are all the same. We were all born sinners, but because of the blood of Jesus Christ, we are all now brothers and sisters. And we teach this not because of what's on the inside, but it's because of the Spirit of Christ that lives on the outside. Thank you so much.